Welcome to the Great British Pinball Podcast, and here are your hosts Scott Rundle and Neil McRae.
Ladies and gentlemen, you've just heard that monumental tune that I know gets you in the mood to go and play pinball. But first, I'm joined here by the amazing, the brutally hard-working, despite the fact it looks like he's been kidnapped by someone in the Middle East and hidden in the back of a cupboard somewhere. Scott's workshop. Scott, how are you?
I'm not too bad, Neil. How are you?
I have to say my blood pressure's racing at the moment. You've just heard my rant. I'm going to have a little mini rant because I still feel the blood pumping.
It's going to set you off, I can tell.
It is. It's infuriating. So those of you that know, we run this place called Pinball Republic. And you'll also know that the Wi-Fi there is utterly shit. And we can't stream and we can't do anything valuable in today's modern digital world, right? So, being that I'm in telecoms, I thought I would help them all out and get them in this magical thing called optical fiber. Ooh, optical fiber. That makes everything beautiful, everything fast, and it even makes this ugly mug look glorious in 4K ultra high definition. Honest to God, if there was a prize for the most fuck-witted fuck-up of fuck-ups, these guys in the mall would get it. It's one of these places where everything is outsourced, and they have manglement, as I like to call it, that just manages the outsource. And those managers are so overloaded that they can't remember what day it is, let alone what fucking properties they manage. Not only that, they change where people are every time I'm dealing with someone new, and it goes back to square one. So we thought we'd got this over the line. We thought, and we thought, glory, finally, glory. We're going to get fiber, optical fiber. But no, we're back at paperwork, square one. What's insane about this is the fiber is actually delivered. It's rolled up in a manhole cover outside the mall. That's how absolutely bonkers this is. And people who work with companies that outsource huge amounts of things, trust me on that, they are going to fail. I've been on another slight tangent. I've been working with a company that outsourced everything. They've just had a big challenge with IT because they did that, and they can't fix it because they've got no one in the company that does it anymore. It's all outsourced. They've totally lost that capability. And it just shows that, I'm starting to think that, there is a moment of truth about, everyone's trying to wring out the last penny of profit, irrespective of how well it works or whether it's right for the customer. As the customer, I can't believe what a shit show this is. And actually, the telco that's supporting me, independent guys called ITS, I couldn't rate them higher. They're doing an amazing job. They're an altnet, business altnet. They're doing an amazing job. But every opportunity, these guys are just making it. And what's crazy about this? It adds value to the mall, because all of a sudden, everybody in that mall can get fast fiber for a third of the price that you can get it from anywhere else. So it drives me nuts. Anyway, we're going to move on to talk pinball.
Breathe, man, breathe.
I might edit that out. Anyway, so it's been a. I was looking at it. It was only like 3.5 weeks when we recorded. It feels like 3.5 months.
Yeah. It's been pretty busy month, in all fairness, hasn't it?
Yeah, and so we're going to talk. The first thing, and funny, I've opened up with Pinball Republic. We thought we'd just talk a little bit about venues. First of all, our heartfelt best wishes to Kirk and his crew at Tilt. Kirk closed Tilt, I want to say 2 weeks ago now, a week and a half ago.
Yeah, it's about that, right?
Probably the longest, biggest, most well-known pinball place in the UK, probably even better known than Pinball Republic. It's been around a lot longer. He had about 30 games, and more importantly, he had some fantastic craft beer, some amazing coffees and teas, and he was whenever I was in Birmingham with work, I would always stop by and give the games there a shout. In fact, I had a team event at Tilt I want to say it was just before COVID, actually, it would be. And we had a right laugh there. So, Kirk, we wish you well, mate. Tough time for you, no doubt. But, I always believe that with when one door closes, another one opens. So we wish you well. But, I've been banging this drum, Scott, that
You have.
if, these venues, use them or lose them. And let me tell you that there's another venue in, I want to say, is it Salisbury? Highest score, who I actually caught on the news because they opened up, I want to say 6 months ago. I don't know the guy who runs it, but I know Rich Mallet, who's one of the tournament players, was somehow involved in this.
Yeah.
And the message was I'm shutting down one last weekend to see if we can keep this business running. Unfortunately, I don't think it works like that. And I think if he's close to shutting down, sadly my knowing what I know about running a venue,
you're
that close on the border, your chances of recovering are probably not too great. In all honesty,
it's what happened before, isn't it? We've seen it before in other places, in other countries, where they open up for a little bit longer because they get a bit of a burst of traffic, so to speak, from the goodwill of people rallying. So it's like a rally is probably the easiest way to put it. But then it just dies down again. It's weird. It's weird, isn't it? Because we had people, well, I've seen even on the forums saying, "Oh no, pinball's in the best place it's ever been," and I'm like, I don't see it, not in this country at least. Anyway, like for me, it feels like, at least from an operator perspective, it's harder than ever. There's obviously external factors to all of this. It's not just people losing interest in the hobby. It's the cost of business rates. It's the economy being effectively in the bin in this country, and people not having a spare money, which is having a knock-on effect to everything, right? To people's buying habits as well as spending habits when it comes to going out. So I do worry at the moment. It's been a struggling business, I imagine, for a lot of them for a while, where they've just been doing okay, and now they can't ride out the storm because there's nothing left in the coffers.
Yeah, and the government comes in, hits you for more corporation tax, more employee nick, puts the minimum wage up. That has a knock-on effect. So that's definitely a factor. Rates and other things are a factor. We're all volunteer-based at Pinball Republic, so those things don't affect us.
Sure.
Luckily, the minimum wage doesn't apply to volunteers, otherwise we'd be dead. But I want to say that there's definitely if I compare the last 3 months at the club have been awful for us, frankly.
Right.
And we expect this because it's summer, right? Everyone wants to go out in their budgie smugglers, in their mankinis, and with a handkerchief on their head and more suntan lotion all over their face than dust on the moon. And basically, we expect it to be quieter, but I want to say this past couple of months in the club has been super quiet. I mean, I think we had one Sunday where we had literally one person come into the club.
Wow.
Now we're probably okay. Thankfully, we've got a great membership that helps us stay viable in those situations. But there is no doubt there is a massive downturn in people coming to the club compared to pre-COVID, but also even and maybe this was the uptick because we were all locked in for so long. But even post-COVID, the 6 months after COVID, before we had to close down, in fact, it was longer than that. It was maybe 8 months. If you compare those two times, we are definitely down. Kirk, when I spoke to Kirk about this, he always thought that this cost of living crisis was definitely having an impact, and I wasn't so sure about that. But now, we've been in the club literally almost a year ago to the day we signed the lease.
Yeah.
And we were busy buying paint and stuff to get the club up and running. And just to get the location into a place where it would pass all the kind of bureaucracy of both the mall and health and safety and everything else, electricity, blah blah blah, fire systems, etc., etc. we spent 10 grand. Fortunately, we knew we were going to have to move, so we put the prices up. So we started to build a bit of a nest egg. We got 2 very kind volunteers that put in another 20 grand, which basically helped with the moving, a bunch of other things that we had to get done, and we also had, our insurance. We also have to insure everything. Insurance went up a little bit for 2 reasons. One, the mall wanted more of a limit on liability that was higher, so from 5 million to 10 million. But also we got more stuff, and we've gone from 50 games to 75 games. So all these things cost money, and then also in the club we were very lucky that. Luck isn't what I would call it. It was a miracle that the landlord paid our electricity bill. That isn't the case, and we're roughly paying between 400 and 500 quid a month on electricity. So, if you open up on a Sunday, turn all the games on, and one person turns up, that's a challenge. I know the other venue, Pinball Office, over in Sawbridgeworth, near where my father-in-law lives, towards Stansted, just kind of that direction. They've struggled. And Chris announced that he's halving the size of the venue, going from, I think he had about 25 games, they're going down to about 12 or 13 now.
Yeah.
Much smaller place means they can't take as many vendors. As many customers or players or pinballers. They now can't do tournaments there now. Before they were able to do tournaments, now it looks very challenging to do tournaments there, which is a great shame. We wish Chris well, because he's been a fighter. He's talked about closing for a while, and I kind of feel that shrinking. Taking that first step to shrink almost feels like a stepping stone on the path of inevitability, to where that might go. Because I think if you've got less space and you can't do, tournaments at Pinball Republic is literally what keeps us alive. If we run a tournament every month, if we didn't do that, we'd probably be we probably wouldn't be out of business, but we'd be sailing much closer to the wind than I would like. So. Yeah, and I just feel that we as a community, if we're going to end up with no venues, and we're going to have some big challenges around. Pinball as a thing where we can get together, and we'll go back to the days where the only way you can play pinball is to come to someone's house. Clearly that is going to have a super negative impact on everything, because people won't.
But do you think there's any onus on the responsibility of the manufacturers of these games, if they want their industry to continue to thrive, that they should be trying to help these operators?
It's a good question. Look, I think, of course, the answer is yes, right?
Yeah.
But those businesses, for the most part, aren't exactly what I would call in rude health either, right?
Yeah.
They've come out of COVID on a high, and then the post-COVID party high is hurting them badly. With probably Stern the only guy that's probably making significant money. Jersey Jack, I don't believe are making money. I just don't believe it. I look at their costs and sales and think,
get their return on investment on Harry Potter is going to take a little bit, isn't it?
Yeah, I think they could get there, right? But it means that for the next 2 years, all they're doing is making Harry Potters, and we've seen that before with Guns N' Roses, right?
Yeah.
Then the Barrels of Fun guy, I think they've got their CEO. He's a smart elephant, no question about it. Is that the right word? I don't know. He's a smart guy, very smart. I think he runs a lean ship. I think he knows what he needs to do to be successful.
He's risk averse, isn't he?
Well, I think I don't know. I don't know if risk averse with Labyrinth.
Choice of licenses is, I would say
Labyrinth. It's
debatable.
not Batman, is it? It's not Jurassic Park.
But at the same time, think about it this way: if you chose a title like Harry Potter as your first game and it sank, you'd be
dead.
You'd be
Yeah.
dead in the water, right? Like,
Yeah,
I think that going down a route like Labyrinth was probably a safe bet at the end of the day. And at the end of the day, they did sell through on their full, like, whatever was it? It was close to selling through. I think it was like, what was their total count? Something like 1,100 that they were planning to do, and they did something just over 1,000. So
I think
pretty much sold out.
they hit the number, or at least they've made them. They're in stock. They might
They've
not
definitely made them all, but I think there's
Yeah.
some still lying around in the factory floor, sort of thing, that need to be dispersed of, so to speak.
I mean, look. So picking that IP that they went for. Here's the upside of it. It's probably cheap. They probably get all the assets.
Yeah.
Right. And look, we've just had a Chewbacca moment on
mate. I don't know if you've been watching like the subsequent releases, but they did a part where Dylan talks.
Yes.
It's not even Dylan's voice actor, and I realise he's no longer with us, but just use the audio clip, I mean, from the movie, and have him say it rather than having some guy that's not even black saying the lines. It's just bizarre. I don't really understand that.
We'll come back to that, but yeah, I mean, look, I think for sure, price of games being expensive is a problem. And they're all pretty much, still to this day, the cheapest pinball machine you can buy is a Stern, which everyone beats up on Stern, but they're the.
It is strange, isn't it? Well, actually, saying that the cheapest price you could get probably is the Turner ones, but not in this country.
No, you can get them. So actually, at Swavesy, David.
Oh, I know you can get them here. Yeah, absolutely. I just feel like because of the, how can I put it? If you were to buy it in America, it's a lot cheaper than it is after it lands here, and that's just down to obviously logistics of import fees, duties, and.
But it's the same for everybody, though, Scott. Right? It's the same.
Yeah, I realise that.
Same for JJP.
I just think from pricing wise, I think it's similar to that of what we pay for a Stern Pro, is what I was getting at, and I think it's down to the fact that it's a numbers game there. Do you know what I mean? If it didn't have to have such a small quantity being sold in this country, then the price would probably be better because you better ship more of them.
Actually, to be fair, I'm going to correct myself. So Ninja Eclipse is £7,000, so that is the cheapest game you can buy.
If it's 7,000 landed in the UK, then I'd see I retract that statement.
7,000 for the base version. I think there's two versions, like a base one and a slightly better one. At least that's the case on Merlin's Arcade, which is the same price. And we'll speak about this later. And I've played Ninja Eclipse. Ninja Eclipse is a fun game. Actually, it's quite a tough game.
All right. I was going to ask you about that, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. Talk maybe about it later on after. But look, I think I remember paying $7,500 for my Ghostbusters Premium. It'd be great I think if we could get back to that, it would definitely be a big help for locations. Wouldn't help us in the club because we don't own any of the games. I mean, they're put there by volunteers, etc. So
sure,
it is. I think. I mean, the one thing I'd say, and everyone will say, "Oh, Neil, you're such a Stern shill. You're such a Stern fanboy." Everyone says this, right? And let me tell you, I love CGC as much as I love Stern, because I love companies that deliver, and both those companies deliver. But what's clear is that Insider Connected has definitely helped venues with.
Insider Connected is probably the single best thing to come out of pinball in a while for me. Yeah, I think it's genuinely a great innovation in the pinball world.
Yeah, and Ninja, the Turner Pinball have got something similar, but I wasn't able to get it running last weekend when.
Oh, okay.
Not because of Turner or anything, because the Wi-Fi in the pub was awful. So I just couldn't get anything to connect.
Age old truth of this country, isn't it? Where, let's face it, internet is still feeling like it's in the dark ages.
It is. I think in some places that is definitely true. It's getting better, no question. But we've still got a journey to go. But
it's still funny when I'm in the centre of London. Sometimes I can't even get signal. I'm just like, who is this carrier I'm with, and why can I not get a signal in the centre of Lehman Street?
Yeah. I'll tell you why, because none of the landlords will let us build infrastructure on there. They all want to charge us insane amounts of money.
Yeah, no doubt.
And actually, they're not legally. So the telcos are legally obliged to be able to access stuff like that and build on it. It's called code powers.
Okay.
Landlords prevent you from doing it and say, hey, if you want access to a roof, the service charge is 20 grand. Or that sort of ilk. Then, so to give you an understanding, there are 18,000 base stations in the UK. Multiply that by 20 grand a year. Nowhere else in Europe is it like that. So, and actually BT this week, and I think Vodafone put out complaints to say, hey, we're shit in the UK because of this.
It's a fair analysis.
Yeah, it is very frustrating when you don't have internet access and you want to use something. Because I took Kong to Swavesey and everyone wanted to clock up achievements, but we couldn't do it. So, and doing Wi-Fi in venues is even if you've got good fiber in there, is not non-trivial. If you don't, you got to invest in it. A lot of people just stick the crap box that came from the service provider in there.
Yeah,
they're made to a price, and none of them are particularly great. They've got better because competition's driven it, but they're not great. So back to venues. Please visit Special When Lit. Visit the guys in Kent at Medway. I got a bit of an ear pulling from Tony because I never mentioned Medway. But visit those guys. Visit Pinball Republic, Retroids, some of the other venues up in the north. There's a new club opening, Blackpool Pinball Club. Still waiting to hear the details on that, but please visit that when it opens. I go to the pinball office, and a lot of people say, "Hey Neil, but to come to Pinball Republic, it's not cheap. We've got to either park the car and that costs a tenner, or get the train and that's 10 quid, return, blah blah blah." And I get it, absolutely. But without support, we're not. If the behavior we've seen in the summer was to continue into the winter, I could see that starting to be the coffin nails getting out of the box for us.
Wow.
Because that, fortunately we've got a couple of folks that if we're short of cash, they lean in, right?
Yeah, sure.
But you can't run it like that sustainably. It's just not. If something happens to one of those people, or they get bored of pinball or something,
this is the part I have found. I've spoken to a couple of people that initially started the hobby around the same time I did, so just around the COVID era, and they've just dropped out entirely.
Yeah.
I said, like, do you go on the forum anymore? They said, no. I said, okay. And they said, what are you doing in your collection? So I've got rid of them. They're gone.
Yeah.
I said, do you even go play pinball anymore? And they said, no, not really. And I was like, oh, wow. And so you're going to come back to it? I said, oh, well. One of them told me, all depends on the autumn statement. And if things get dire enough, they're going to just leave the country. I was like, well, great. And then the other one said the same thing. They just said, like, yeah, if the pressures get big enough, they're just going to sell off their games and then leave. So I was like, this is why I feel, when people say to me, oh, pinball's in the best place it's ever been, maybe for the US, and I don't even think the US is doing particularly great either. I feel like, for me at least, it's put a pause on. Normally, I'd love to switch up my lineup, right? I got to a position now where I would say my games are getting a bit long in the tooth, and I reached out to a couple of people privately and said, like, you've asked about this game before. It's available if you want it. Just because I feel like I'd want to switch things around. They said, no, not got no money, got nothing. And I think that's the problem we're in. Like, now people are pretty much in a position now where either they're at maximum capacity, so they've got no spare room to buy any games. They don't want to sell in their games because the market's gone and taken a nosedive, because everybody keeps harping on about how you should sell a Monster Bash for $4,000. Sorry, anybody who's going to sell a Monster Bash for $4,000, you are nuts. Yeah, you are absolutely nuts. Like, go sell in the US. At this point, you may as well. Like, it's not worth it. You
won't even get Monster Bash for $4,000 in the US. You get a lot of titles cheap. The US, the US market is correcting quicker in terms of what is
some titles will always be worth a lot, and those ones like Indiana Jones, Monster Bash, trying to think, Attack from Mars, Medieval Madness. They're always going to command money. They're always going to command money. Not maybe as much as they used to, but certainly not as little as that.
$4,000. I mean, they're having a laugh, basically.
Yeah, I think, like I say, that if the people want the market to kind of like get out of this slump that it's in, and let's face it, the market is flooded with games at the moment that aren't going anywhere, and it is because mainly nobody has any spare cash because no one else is selling another game. We need either fresh blood to come in, which I don't think we're in a position to have at the moment. Like, I don't think someone's going to be coming into the hobby in the current climate and going, hey, I got money to spend, let's go buy 20 games. I feel like the only way to get movement back again really is to allow people to sort of sell games comfortably. I'm not saying that they should be selling it like COVID past, what do you want to call it, post-COVID prices? That's probably the way to put it. Yeah. I'm just saying that if you expect someone to sell a game at like $5,000 less than what they bought it for, they're not going to do it, and they'd rather just sit on it, and the market will just stagnate.
Yeah, I mean, and also I think there's a lot of games. There's a lot of kind of gangs of friends on WhatsApp that are buying and selling games between each other.
There is a lot of private trade going on still, I think. I mean,
because they look at, why you put your game up on the forum, and look. There's the market reality and there's what you want for the game, right?
Sure.
So I'll use a great example. Everyone's been banging on about it. John Wick, right?
John Brick, you mean? But yeah, carry on.
So John Brick, for those that can't shoot pinball, it's an amazing game. The latest code, Mike and the guys done a phenomenal job on it. They haven't finished it, but you can see the game's taking some interesting steps. I paid, I don't know what, $15,000 for the LE.
Yeah.
If I was to get 8 for it right now, I would be lucky. And look,
so that's a big decrease, man.
Yeah, absolutely. So
but look, this is why I say to you, like, going back to that whole, like, what the manufacturers need to do. Do they need to start facing some strong realities here that they can no longer turn around and expect people to punch down $15,000 for a game to then lose half of it within like the span of a year?
And this is the point, right? If they don't, this is the challenge they face. If this situation continues, what it used to be was just like you buy a game for $7,000 premium, you sell it for maybe 6.5, you stuck in another £500, and you bought the next one. That was the motion, right?
Yeah, for a little while it was definitely like that, especially for like the last 3 or 4 years, I'd say.
Yeah,
for me.
COVID, running into COVID, it was definitely like that, right? And life was good, but you kind of see it.
I mean, it's like my Labyrinth. Like, I've seen other people trying to sell theirs, and they're tanking in value. And I've seen like the same thing. Like, what was it? The Ultraman. I know Ultraman was a horrible flop, but then when I saw, I can't remember who it is, put it up for $4,000. I was like, God, that's a $10,000 game.
Yeah,
that's a $6,000 loss.
It was 8.5. So
was it 8.5?
I actually had one in order, and I had £1,000 down on it. And Carl D'Angelo pinged me and said, "Neil, this game's a shitter." So I bailed out of it and took the grand hit.
I get it. If a game's terrible, it's going to affect its value. But then there are some other games. I think, what was it? Like even Kirk, I think, has got a Mandalorian LE up, right?
Yep.
And he's gone down to 7.5, and I'm just like, that's an LE. And there's other people telling me Jaws should go for 7 as a pro, and I'm like,
the LE has been in a bar. I mean, if you put
it's a rooted game, I suppose you can call it.
The
worst
right? thing you can do is buy an LE and stick it in a pub or a venue, because you basically just make it a premium instantly.
But I think there's a home use one that's only for like 500 more.
Yeah, no,
on the forum as well.
Fun. Yeah, no, look, I'm not saying that it's so. The point is that some of these high-end games going for a lot less money, and let me tell you, right, in the US they're going for even less, right?
Yeah. It's not sustainable though, because I'd say, in order to buy the next game, at least in my world, I'm happy to lose like $2,000, I'd say, on a game. That's reasonable.
Yeah.
But like to lose 3 or 4, it's like, man, I may as well just rent a game at this point, and lose less 100%. Money.
Or you buy, you go into the past and you buy a few old classics.
Which don't tank in value by $3,000. Well, at least they did.
And some of them,
they shouldn't, at least.
Pick up a Flash Gordon or a Vector or something like that. These are great fun games. Okay, they're not banging out Iron Maiden music or anything like that, but there's still a ton of fun. And again, you want to know how fun those games are. Come to Pinball Republic, because we've got about 40 of them. So yeah, it's a tricky one. But look, and you know, the guys at Loser Kid did their monthly pinball thing.
Yeah, we're probably prattling on too much about price, aren't we? We
Yeah,
should move on.
Yeah, so look, use venues.
Yeah.
So let's move on and let's talk about the game you're all waiting to hear about. You've probably seen videos, millions of them. Harry Potter. And the case of the dodgy Playfield art.
I mean, like, I come from, my wife's like done Playfield art, and we all know that, you know, it's I would say I'm very biased in that approach when it comes to art. I much prefer a Playfield to be driven by passion and driven by someone who has spent thousands or hundreds of thousands of hours building out the artwork. I get the fact that AI is a tool. I think Franchi had an interview with Carrie Hardy. He was on a live stream, and he said, to me, it's a tool. I use it. He said he even used it on Evil Dead. He did say, like, you know, there's some stuff he just wouldn't have done. He used it as a tool to create an asset, and then he'll build upon it. So he'll be like, you know, get me this, and like a briefcase, and then it'll be like, okay, cool, do this with it. Then he'll be like, okay, right, I'm going to tweak that now and put that in. And I get that. I think that's absolutely fine. I don't see any major problems with it. I think the only thing I disagree with his statement is that he goes, pinball isn't art. And I was like, I just don't agree with that. I really, like, for an artist to say that his work is not art, sorry, mate, but that's a bit too much for me.
Art has always been in the eye of the beholder, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But I know I know thousands, not thousands, but hundreds of people that stick their art of their playfields up on the walls. They like it. They love the way it looks. I think it honestly is in itself an art form, and I do admire the work that a lot of the people have done. I think some of it is like, and that's why we promote the names of these artists, right? We talk about Zombie Yeti. We talk about you know, Franchi. We know them by name because we respect their work.
Yeah,
and
100%. Well, put it this way. You know when a pinball machine's got shit art, and you know when it's got great art, right? And you know, I give an example. Compare Walking Dead to Ghostbusters, right?
Yeah.
And Ghostbusters was Zombie Yeti's first proper game that wasn't the Zidware.
For me, he put Playfield art back on the map again.
Yeah,
it was no longer a Photoshop asset dump, and 100%. It was like something that was drawn by passion.
And then Chris Franchi came along, you know, did the artwork for Guardians and other stuff, Beatles, Evil Dead. Evil Dead is just stunning. I mean,
it is, and I think he should be proud of it. Maybe he doesn't feel that way, but he should.
He's a bit. Chris, he actually listens to the podcast because he took the piss out.
If you are listening, man, you need to take more respect of your work, because it is good.
Chris, we're telling you that you're brilliant, mate. We're the teacher, because you've earned it. We're looking forward to what you've got cooking in the oven. I'm hearing it's Beetlejuice, but we shall see, right?
Beetlejuice or Gremlins, everyone keeps tossing and turning between the two, but anyway, look, back on Harry Potter.
Yeah, Harry Potter. Luke, let's get back to it. So I said this all. I mean, I have to say the artwork and all of our. So let me reverse back.
Yeah,
Harry Potter as a theme is meaningless, valueless drivel. I never liked the movie.
Not a fan of the books, no.
I read half of the book and then thought, this is just awful.
The book. Okay.
The first one. The first
book, right?
I've watched the first movie. I've watched bits of the others, but honestly, I'm like, it bores me beyond belief.
I like the theme personally, and I'll tell you one story actually.
Millions of people do, right? I mean, it's the.
I was on the fence to buy one of those free games, so it was between Predator, Harry Potter, and Dune. Yeah. And Predator then got announced, and I was like, I want Predator, and I dumped Dune.
Chew you back up.
We'll go on to that later. Suffice to say, I kind of shifted back to Dune. I was like, I do like Harry Potter as a theme, but I tell you what I don't like is JJP's code. I just can't get my head round.
Well, mate, that's exactly
the bombardment of modes. But go on,
Yeah, so look, Phil, actually, big shout out to Phil at Pinball Heaven. He invited a bunch of us to his girlfriend's hotel, which was a very, very nice hotel. We were in a stunning room. I took my wife. My wife was blown away by how good this was. She's like, "This can't be pinball. It's too nice." Made me laugh. It was about, I want to say it was about 50 people there. He had an open day. Actually, I missed that because I couldn't get up there. I just went for the evening thing, which was a dinner and a few beers. A lot of famous faces there. Jack was there. From Jersey Jack,
which is good, Illinois. Right? Promoting his own product. That's what you want to see.
Illinois Jack, as I like to call him now. But the game was there. I got to play it, and look, I've said this before. I think it's a good game. I think it's a great game. I think it shoots nice. It's probably between that and Elton John, I think it's roughly the same in terms of how good it shoots. Although I actually prefer the Elton John theme. I'll probably be unique in that.
You must be. It's too old for me.
Yeah.
I've got Metallica. That's my music pin as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, but you know, I think it's clear that Eric's got a real passion for Harry Potter. You know, there's this spinning staircase mech that's quite cool. The Hogwarts thing, or not Hogwarts. What's the game? The
Quidditch.
Game they play. Quidditch. Yeah, sorry.
His use of the upper playfield looks great. That as you say, that mech is really great, cool with the staircase.
But then, as you say, it's like, here's what it's like. I've got this great game, great play for blah blah blah, right?
Yeah.
And basically, it's like, okay, we're gonna do the code, and what they've done is they've put the code in a metal shell. They've stuck it in a £4 billion howitzer gun, and they fired it at the game, and it's just gone onto the game.
Yeah,
and it feels nothing like being in a Harry Potter movie playing that game. And let me give you an example of a game where they totally nailed being in the movie. Jaws, right?
Okay.
That is, and they just put out release one. Absolute top job to Keith and the whole team. The Jaws is, if you haven't got Jaws in your collection, go play one for an afternoon. I'll put money on it, you'll buy one. It is such a good game now. It feels like you're in the game. You got the humor, so in the movie, you got the humor from the movie. You've got little tweaks from it. The game shoots great. It's challenging. There's lots of different things to do. They've actually got this whole 8-bit code that's completely different to the rest of the game. And you know, the music when you're about to go into volleyball, and then get the as you're about to start volleyball, you know, Harry Potter, right? Oh, I've hit this. Oh, I'm in volleyball now. Holy shit, right?
Yeah.
And what's
I call it the attention deficit disorder edition, because it does feel like there's 50 million things going on, and I just don't know which way to look.
What's frustrating about it is David, what's his name's gone out of my head. The guy that does the audio has done a phenomenal job of the audio, and you can't fucking hear any of it.
Yeah,
it's a crime. It's an absolute crime. And David Teal, who's I've just realised is like a schoolboy hero of mine from Epic Games when they did Winter Games on the Commodore 64. He did all the audio for that.
Right.
So I've got a copy of I've got Winter Games, the original copy.
You get him to sign it.
I'm taking it to Chicago. I'm hoping he's going to be at Expo. He's not sure if he's going to be there. Anyway, they did that great job. They've done a great job of the kind of assets and movie, but it just feels disconnected from the game.
Yeah.
To get the modes going, to get into a movie, there's a really tough scoop shot that I think what they should do is do a Guardians of the Galaxy and just put a menu up and say, pick the movie you want to play, like they've done with Evil Dead, like they've done with Guardians of the Galaxy. I mean, I hate menus in pinball, but that would be better because and I've seen this where people are playing it and they're like, why isn't more happening? And you get.
I feel a lot of it can be done through lighting as well, but like JJP have a weird fascination with casino lights. I feel like
casino lights and slot machine lights.
Yeah, it's like the theme is. If you watch any of the Harry Potter themes, it starts off kind of light and then it gets darker and darker and darker because it's all about Voldemort. though the guy that should not be named, and effectively, as he becomes more prominent and obviously he's getting stronger, the theme gets darker and darker, the color palette gets darker, and they've made a whole analysis on this, right? I feel like it'd be fairly easy for them to, I don't know, maybe they should do what they did with John Brick. They should just wipe the code and start again.
I just don't think they're going to do that. I mean, apparently they've tweaked a few things, but it's
hard for me to comment. I mean, I only watch from streams, right? But I just feel like for me, I'm a very big purveyor of IP. IP is very king for me when it comes to making a choice about buying a game. If the theme doesn't speak to me, I won't buy it. And that's why I went for Dune, because this theme does speak to me. I do like Dune as a IP. I grew up with the games as a kid. So Dune 2 was like the godfather of RTS games, and I absolutely loved it. And I feel like
Command and Conquer era.
Yeah, I am. Command and Conquer owes its success to Dune. So, if it wasn't, they made the whole point and click. So
actually, everyone on the street, everyone that's into those sort of games, go look up Tempest Rising on Steam.
Okay. That's the spiritual successor to Command and Conquer sort of thing.
Yeah, it's awesome. I've been playing it. So okay, look, Harry Potter, great job, Eric, on the Playfield. I think it shoots nice. Great job on the sound. Okay-ish job on the artwork. I mean, and great on the presentation. The game looks special, no question about it, right?
Do you know if they've actually tidied up the AI mistakes now?
Apparently,
and new Playfield art doesn't have it.
Yes, apparently they have. So I think this. Remember, I mentioned that there was a delay because of something.
Yeah,
I think this is what it is. So you can have one right now. So if you got one order, hey, you can have the one with the funny art, or you can wait for one without the funny art.
Right.
So I mean, I think most people will take the game because honestly, what the AI art, they've got it badly wrong. And actually, the artist came clean and said Jersey Jack knew nothing about it. It was him. And basically, again, he uses it as a tool. Actually, it's kind of funny because Adobe have been using AI in their platform since 2012.
Oh yeah, it's prevalent. Yeah,
it's not. It's AI art, man. I'm like down.
You can't escape AI art. It's in video games now. It's in voice actors are being replaced by it. It's just It's
hilarious. I had some bozo email the UK Open because I used AI art in one of the adverts. Like, unless you stop using AI art, I'm never coming to your tournament. Bye. I mean, honestly, I couldn't believe it. So, look, like I say, the sound's great, but the code, they've just, it's a big miss. And I think, unfortunately, like so many other JGP games, except Elton John, except Dialed In, maybe except Toy Story, maybe a little bit of, I've started to like Wonka a little bit better, even though it doesn't have the Candyman. But yeah, look, I think they've done. Look, I think if you're a Harry Potter fan, you'll be happy. If you're not a Harry Potter fan, I don't think there's a good enough game that you would buy that over Calm. I just don't know why, or Jaws. I just don't know why you would do that. It just wouldn't make any sense to me, basically. So there's that. Let's talk about Predator.
Yes.
So Scott, you had one in order last time.
Don't anymore.
Tune in next week to find out what game Scott has still got ordered.
Yeah, I know, right? It's like, look, I feel bad for pulling the plug on it, but honestly, that game was on life support, and then it just suddenly got worse.
It is.
Yeah.
I don't know what. It'd be like, imagine doing Harry Potter and Harry isn't in the fucking game.
I've said it before. I had a discussion with Ant around this. Ant Hobbs, he does all the sort of premium restorations in the UK. He was like, because me and him are massive Predator fans, and he was like, Alien I can get away with not having Ripley in it because you don't think Sigourney Weaver when you think of Alien. I said, I disagree. I kind of do, personally. Yeah. I think she was the female protagonist as much as a Predator, but more so, I do think I agree with him. When you think Predator, you think Arnold. He's there first and foremost.
Well, the thing is there's like in Aliens, there's not a lot of catchphrases, right? Whereas,
get away from her, you bitch, is probably one of the key ones from Aliens, right? Yeah.
Whereas get to that, if it
actually, there's plenty of them. Game over, man. They're coming out of the
exactly.
walls. There's a few of them.
Yeah, but they're not all Sigourney Weaver. That's the
Oh,
point.
yeah, it's true. Yeah, it's true.
Whereas in Predator, I'm going to say 80% of them aren't. It's like, if it's bleed, we can kill it. Get to the chopper.
Yeah, Dylan, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, I mean, all those things are Arnie.
Yeah, it's true.
And, a movie like Predator is built around Arnie. That's if Arnie wasn't in Predator and it was some other bozo, the movie would be awful. No one would watch it. It'd just be.
It was going to be Jean-Claude Van Damme, wasn't it?
Wasn't that Commando?
Was that Commando? I can't remember now.
It was
but
one
anyway.
of them. Yeah, it was.
But I know what you mean, though. I feel like
Jean-Claude Van Damme in Predator would be awful, man. It would be like, the Brussels for muscles. No.
I feel like they just don't seem to listen to their audience either. They just double down on it, and I'm just like, if you're going to ignore every criticism, that it should be, these are your potential market purchasers, and you're just sat there just going, it doesn't matter. You're gonna, those who would have bought it will buy it. Those that won't. It's just,
especially after Alien, when they put Ripley in, and boom, it started. And then the ABBA. I can't imagine ABBA's like going to be featured as success stories in Pinball Volume.
I think
5.
ABBA's going to go across as one of those games that was a bit like Venom or something. It was just an average game.
More like that Primus game. But except for the fact they put the full effort into developing it. Primus, it was a retheme of
I can't remember.
Right. Retheme Wone Alley. And actually stunning looking game, but unfortunately it's Wone Alley. But look, I just don't know what possesses the thinking, and then also to do all that marketing nonsense with the teasers, because everyone and the thing is right, they come across, and I don't believe that they wanted to do this, right? At least I hope not. They come across like they're trying to hide the fact Arnie's not in it by teasing stuff. We're not going to. If we come out and tell you Arnie's not in it, no one's going to buy our game. So we're going to piss you about and misdirect you. And
it honestly felt like that for a while, because even Genghis was basically avoiding the question, even though he knew the answer.
Yeah. The less said about that, the better.
Yeah.
I mean, his impression of Arnie is better than who they've got doing it, I think. But anyway, look, I'll tell you a funny story after this. That if I share it here, I'll be shot down by the minions of Doom on the internet. No, I'm frustrated because too many companies keep taking
glorious themes and wasting them.
Like Brothers, I could rant about that again.
Yeah,
I just please stop. And I I was watching In Before the Lock, that podcast on mods, and they had a few guests on there saying, do we really want Pinball Brothers to stop making games? And I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry, but I do, because they're ballsing it up. I don't want shit games with my dream theme on them.
No,
I know that people might say, that's a hot take or whatever, right? But I kind of just think if you're getting it so badly wrong.
I think they took a right decision on positive notes, right? I like the fact they used fast hardware. I think that was a good admission from them to turn around and say, we need to address stability issues here. Our games need to be rock solid going out the door. That should mean that the game is stable. But
100%.
we've now got an issue where the assets aren't there. The call-outs are cheesy, kind of not in a good way cheesy either. So, I don't know.
And also, I've been looking at the gameplay, and there's kind of a couple of...
I tell you what, though, in their defense, Dune had the exact same issue with Bowser Fun. They released it, and they got people like Adam Savage and even David to play the game.
Yeah.
And both of them professed to be not very good pinball players, and it looked like the game was nigh on impossible to shoot.
Yeah.
Dirty Paws in Jeff I don't know if you've been watching him on Twitch, because he's doing really good stuff at the moment. He's now also I would say the composer, I think, is probably the accurate term for Barrels of Fun. So he's now doing all the audio for Dune, and even he admits they fluffed up the initial release. But now the stuff he's done and the way he keeps pushing and promoting the game on a weekly basis, it's really useful. At least for me, it made me go back to Dune. If I hadn't seen his videos, I would have probably just said this game is a complete whitewash and I'm done with it, because its initial release was terrible. The code was completely unfinished. And it was released too early, and now it looks really good. And I feel like it looks like it was a bad shooter as well, which was what I was getting at. It looks really clunky, and now when I watch him play it, I'm like, wow, this is what it can do. It really can flow when you shoot the shots.
I mean, this is the thing. I don't know I'd love to understand the thinking behind getting that release out when they did, because so Kong was already out. We knew Harry Potter was coming.
It was pressures, I think, to try and get out a game first, right? But I don't know.
Yeah, but it's not helpful when it then takes you 9 months to build them. You know,
Yeah.
and I don't look, if they had 1,000 of them ready to sell on a shelf, then yeah, you want to get out there. But they didn't. So I mean, even and even Stern with getting King Kong out. You know, they were a bit slow off the mark on that. Not as fast as they normally are.
Yeah.
But I just kind of feel like that they've missed. I kind of feel that if they'd just taken a bit of time, and I think all we're talking about is 2 weeks, Scott, and launched it with a bigger bang.
I think June needed another 2 months, which is what it basically is at now, I think, with the code. But I feel like there probably was the pressures of Harry Potter. I'm sure of it.
And I get that, but I think again in the land of pinball, you know, Harry Potter, you know, its biggest base is people in my daughter's age, right? Probably,
sure.
People, you know, the kind of Gen Zs, right? Is that right? I think. No,
Gen Zs, no, it's millennials.
Yeah, millennials, right? They don't buy pinball machines, right? So, you know, and Dune, back to your point, Dune's been around a lot longer. You know, I used to play the games. I watched the original movies. I actually haven't seen the new movies because I just haven't had time. I don't go to the cinema that often, but at some point I'll sit down and watch them, right? But yeah, I'd love to. I don't know if David Van Ness has kind of said why with what the timing was, because you know they kind of just missed Texas Pinball Festival as well, which is kind of doubly frustrating for them, because if they got the game there, you know, they'd be on to a winner, no question about it. But
yeah,
if it's not ready, it's not ready. I mean, I think that's the key thing.
I do feel like a lot of pinball companies at the moment seem to be in a state, like Pinball Brothers as well, right, with Predator. They release a game that's just not there, it's not finished. The assets, again, it seems to be really weird. They release games where they're pending license approval. And it's like, why are we in a situation where we're getting pending license approval? Like Harry Potter, same thing, right? They said, oh, we can't release all this stuff just yet. Pending license approval. It's like, what is going on?
All the games that initially came out all had this kind of demo edition on them.
That's right, yeah.
Which made me, you know, when I saw that, and you know, we'd heard all these rumors about licensing issues, I was like, well, that's why they've done that.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I'm looking forward. I haven't played Dune. I'm going to the US, Pinburg next week, and Dune is there, so I'll get a chance to play it.
Great.
Feedback. Kong, you know, the other big game at the moment. It just goes from strength to strength. I took it to Swavesey, the Pinball Festival last week.
Have you adjusted your mech, by the way? Because for those that have got the arm blocking the,
so
apparently it can burn out if you don't adjust it.
Yeah, no. So look, if you've been in radio control, right, you know this already. But so Kong's arms are done by 2 radio control servos, right?
Right.
And basically, they need, like, if you buy a radio control car, there's this thing called trim on the controller. Both you just need to trim the servos. And if you know that they're servos,
it limit the torso movement? It
just limits where the hands can go, because the 0 point for servos is never the same place. You buy 10, you'll never get 2 in the same place.
It's a bit like when you do like an Eddie board, right? You adjust the sensitivity underneath, yeah.
So you just need to adjust that. I mean, some people were taking Kong out of the game. I'm like, you don't need to take Kong out of the game. I mean,
that'd be drastic. I don't think you have to do that.
I mean, like everyone said, I have to take Kong out. I was like, why did you have to take Kong out? I didn't do that. I mean, there was also a couple of folks who've had loose screws.
Right.
Which is annoying for sure. You know, there should have been a dab of thread lock on that. But you just got the menu, you trim it so that it only moves within, you know, certain
couple of millimeters or whatever, yeah.
and bang, you're good to go. But the game, I mean, I'm enjoying it so much. And they put out a new code version a couple of weeks ago, and it's just phenomenal. It's actually going to be in the club for a couple of weeks because Matt kindly took it to Swavesey for me in his van and he brought it back, and he was going to bring it back. I said, as you worry, just take it to the club because I'm out.
So is that your LE at the club?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's really
Well,
nice, man.
I had my Dungeons and Dragons LE at the club, and it was fine. It doesn't have the LE lock bar on it. I've got a cheap ass.
Oh, right, to enjoy scuffs, yeah.
Those are like, I don't know, the people that do that.
Dangly jewelry.
If I catch anyone doing that, man, honestly, God, I'll be going to jail for GBH. It's like keying a car. It's the same sort of thing, man. If I caught someone doing that,
I think that's the safest thing about like having stainless steel or like just standard black kind of like, what's the word? I'm not saying plated. It's not the right word I'm looking for. Just black
thing on Stern Pros.
Yeah, the black coat that they use is really robust.
Even where people have scratched the hell out of them, I'm like, who are the fuckers that do that, man? Honestly, if I caught someone doing that, I genuinely.
When I borrowed the Barrels of Fun Labyrinth from David, the rooted one that he put on, because it was like what do you want to call it? The showroom game. It's probably the better way to put it.
Yeah.
Someone had scratched coins on the lock bar, so they would quote unquote like work better inside the mechanism. I was like, you were scratching an actual powder coat there. It's absolutely phenomenal that people disrespect stuff like that.
I think they were just dickhead vandals. So we had that game at the UK Open before you got it, and I was crying when I saw it. I was like, who are these people that do shit like that?
Yeah.
Anyway, so and then I played Ninja Eclipse. David was kind enough to take that to Swavesey. Really good game, quite a tough game. A couple of shots that are really hard. The lock shot's brutal on it.
Right.
But
how does it work? Because isn't it got like a shot where it shoots from one shot into another, like a grappling hook sort of thing?
Yeah, I thought, well, that's cool, but then when you play, it's like that's shit. You're just waiting. Scoops.
I like the fact he was trying something new, but yeah.
Yeah, it's great, but there's no skill involved in it. You're not doing anything with the ball.
Scoops, okay.
If you play games with scoops and without scoops, you tend to find the games without scoops have got tons of great flow, right? So if you're relaying balls off two scoops, I get. Look, it was an experiment. It's not awful, but you don't get any satisfaction out of the shot, and that's it. So, and I made a bold statement on Pinside and on Stern Enthusiasts this week.
Okay.
The gong shot in Kong is the
goat. I saw that.
It is the GOAT of all pinball shots, mate. I'm telling you. Right? Let me just
go on.
It, right?
Convince me.
On this left flipper, right? It is such a tricky shot. The ball's moving at pace, and this is the thing on Kong. The ball's always moving at pace, and you've got to hit it, and it's and you get this bang, and it's like, and it kicks back.
So you mean it's better than the snick shot on Deadpool?
Oh yeah. I mean, I love this. I love the snick shot on Deadpool. I love the cross shot on the sword. I love that. It's awesome. But this pisses all over it. And then you can also backhand it, which is where if you're less good at pinball, you probably go to the backhand. And again, you can get the backhand wrong so that you're in real trouble. But if you nail it, oh mate, the glory just comes out of the machine into your inner psyche.
I've been told to wrap up. Yes. So let's move on to the Q&A quick.
Q&A, yes, Q&A. So the Q&A was...
So we had it from Jag555 on the forum. He said to us we should entertain more questions. And his first question was, what is our... Yeah, send your questions in initially is what we're saying now, because we will do it more. We need to communicate more with the community. Yeah. So from our point of view, this is the first one we'll do. So that he's asked the question to us specifically, saying, what is our most favoured Spike 2 as our most favourite game, and what's our least favourite game? So I'll let you start.
So the least favourite is easy.
Go on.
Monsters.
I knew you were going to say that.
Absolutely fucking awful game. I don't know where to go on it. It is terrible. The next game, I would say, I kind of feel
No,
bad.
no, go on. I'm not going to let you off the hook other than just say it's terrible. Say why you think it's terrible.
The game's great,
Go on.
but it has this big problem. That when you're playing this game, you have to listen to music by the band Rush. And it is the most fucking awful music ever created. Sorry, Tom Graff. I know you love Rush. People who love Rush, you clearly need to get your hearing tested because it is utterly garbage. I mean, this is the thing. I mean, we've talked about this before, Scott, where audio is such an important part of the experience for me. And you've got some Canadian guy, and it's like, no, I can't hear it. I can't listen to that. Even Ear Defender's on. So I've got a premium. I own a Rush Premium. It's in the club. And I looked to see if I could do a disco Rush, right? But unfortunately, the way Stern have done it now, they've tied the music to the gameplay much tighter. And it's possible, but it's a hell of a lot of work. Whereas Iron Maiden, it was literally drag and drop to get Disco Maiden on it. So that's my two worst. I might throw in kind of Aerosmith as my next least favorite.
You're supposed to pick least favorite, and that's it. But go on.
Yeah. So the best. So Spike 2 best game. I mean, that's such a hard thing.
Yeah.
But for me, it's really easy. It is James Bond's 60th. It is.
Really? Okay.
It is. So it's right there. It is absolutely stunning. It's the one game that I'll sell everything else before I sell that.
Wow.
It is such a fun game. Okay, it's not a deep game. You know, if you're in, it's definitely not a deep game, but the layout is awesome. The rules are brilliant. The music, the integration, the artwork's a bit ropey. It's Photoshop, but I absolutely love it.
That might be down to licensing requirements, right? I probably had to adhere to that or something.
Yeah, well, actually, it's one of the few Bond things that have got all the Bonds on it. It's very rare that you find that. So collectors love the game.
Okay.
I've sold a few off the grey market. If I was going to call out, if a traditional more Spike 2 game, I think I'm throwing my hat at Jaws. But I think if you ask me in a month's time, I'll say King Kong because I've called this again. Godzilla is another great game. I think King Kong is going to eclipse Godzilla.
Okay.
I just feel that they've got.
It's hard for me to say because I haven't played it yet, but
yeah, I mean, but I think it's got all the potential to be as good as Godzilla. Will it sell as many as Godzilla? Probably not, but more because of the market than the fact that it's...
And the fact I think Godzilla as an IP is a stronger IP as well.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Yep,
yeah.
I'll give you that. So, Scott, let's hear your two.
So my least favourite is a tie, I'd say. It's between, like, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or Star Wars.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I'll get both of them. Actually, Star Wars
kind of leans further into the kind of dislike because it's like it was a cherished IP for me, and it's got the least underneath the hood. Do you know what I mean? And it's that horrible shot that you kind of, if you shoot the shooter lane wrong, it just drains down the middle. It's like geometry bad, artwork terrible. Okay, it's got some decent video assets and it's got a really weird video mode, which they've never done since.
It doesn't feel like you're in a Star Wars movie, though, does it? That's the issue.
TIE fighter on a spring. It's like, it feels like a homebrew. And no offense to homebrews, right? I'm making one, but like it does feel like a homebrew. It's like this is a low budget effort game, and it feels like Stern was like in a funny spot with that. They were like, we don't have any really money left. We spent it all on the license. Let's just throw something together, kind of attitude.
Yeah, I don't think they were short of money for that game. Even
really?
in building it. No, and actually, after Godzilla, Star Wars is Stern's best-selling game.
I know it sells loads, but that's because of the theme. Go back to the theme. It's not that. It's a great game. If you look at a lot of people, I often write when I look at people's lineups, and they say, "Oh, I've got this, that, and the other," and I look at like what games they've got, and like if they've got like a Star Wars, I guarantee you they've got an Alien. And it's no offense to me, I've got an Alien. And I know why. It's because they like the theme. They're buying for the theme and not for the game, right?
Or they might have Star Trek. Maybe not.
Yeah.
So, actually, I'll give you that. Turtles. I used to hate Turtles as well, but then I figured
ball
out.
lanes drive me up the wall. I lose my mind when the ball hits that metal at the end on the outlane and just goes boop, and it's just like
I grew up like that game. Initially, I thought what, but I also like tough games. It's a very tough game.
It's a very tough game.
But yeah, I mean, I give you both of them as they're definitely at the bottom. Actually, at the Swavesy tournament, I got Star Wars as my first game in both rounds, and totally both games. I hate the game. When I get in a tournament, whoever's playing me, you've won. I don't even need to play the game. I'll just say you've won.
See, I told you, like it's weird because I know you're a Star Wars fan. And let's hope the rumor's true. I know you're not a fan of the prequels.
The rumor is true. No. Hold on.
Okay, it's not that the truth then.
If you hear, especially that man Canada, right, say
Canada,
Star Wars episode 1-3, it's fucking not. Right?
Okay.
No company in their right freaking mind would do anything with episodes 1-3. No one would do it. No. Right? It is.
So you think it's another 4, 5, 6?
5, and 6. And let me tell you, one of the biggest mechs on it is a really cool Death Star mech that eats the ball. Right?
Okay.
People are going to be tripping over themselves for this.
If that's true, I'd be interested. Because I really do love the original trilogy.
Go on YouTube and say, McRae, you're full of shit, right? I am very confident about it. I'm very confident that I'm going to be buying this game and I'm going to love this game. And John Borg is going to blow it off.
It's kind of weird, though, isn't it? Because they only just did I say just, it feels like it.
But look, this is the problem, right? They stopped making Star Wars and all the dealers moan because it's a game they sell. Whether the business is good or business is bad, Star Wars sells.
Yeah, I mean, you often see boxes of them going out the doors, don't you? Yep. But yeah, so that was for me for the least. For the most favorite, it's easy. Yeah. It's Metallica, the remastered.
Right. Yeah,
it's so. I keep playing it. I was playing it last night with Holly, and even Holly was doing well on it. She got there it is. It's honestly a thing of beauty, and she got I think it was 408 million. It wasn't an amazing game, but bear in mind she's 7 months pregnant now, and she's the size of Middle Earth. It's difficult for her to kind of reach her out the flippers sort of thing. So she's doing really well. She beat me on that game. I was I think I was doing all right. I was like, I'm going to beat her. I've got a really good game here. I've got just landed on one ball. I've got 220 million on one ball.
Pregnant lady.
Yeah, exactly. And then she just literally when you start stacking those mighty balls. It's honestly, it's so good. I feel like
I love when you complete the multi balls, you get that mini
rhythm
mode.
Yeah,
I've got that twice. It is awesome.
It is cool.
Again, Borg and Ray Day's I think earned his.
And it doesn't feel hard, even though everyone complains it is hard. It doesn't feel hard.
There's no question about it.
I think it's because it's just genuinely fun when you play it.
Yeah. Look, I mean, you can tell it's a good game because when people said another Metallica, why would I want one of them? I've already got one. And then the thing sells out. It's just, they just smashed it. And I think if I was Stern, I'd be looking at, okay, what do we do for Metallica that we need to repeat?
Artwork, animations, music, lights. It's all 10s for me.
Exactly. I just think I'm not a big Metallica
fan. Call-outs are
but...
even bang on. The musicians have got energy when they're talking about it. Sometimes it's weird, right? I've always thought this was so strange. Like Stranger Things had that problem with that guy. What's his name that plays the sheriff?
Yeah.
I can't remember his name now.
But you see, they're actors though. This is the problem. Right?
They're not voice actors. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
You can see it, right? You can see it in different games where. If you're a voice actor like the guys on Godzilla, he's fucking smashed it because he knows what to do, right?
Yeah.
If you just go pull a random actor, he needs direction, and if you don't give him that direction, he'll sound like the ball is lost, right? It's the voice, but it's not the character.
Extra ball.
Right? Extra ball.
That's all I remember from Stranger Things.
It's awful. But yeah, look, Yeah, I mean, I give you that. I mean, Metallica is definitely in my top 10. I think. I think
it's my favorite Stern. It is my favorite Stern.
Yeah.
It's like that or Lord of the Rings. It's damn hard between the two for me. It's funny because we were playing Lord of the Rings just a few days back, and I was like, I'm never going to sell this game. I've been offered before, and I'm like, I'd be mad. It's just so good.
I mean, it's like I've got right next to me because I'm moving games in and out. Jurassic Park, right? It's one of my faves. And the thing is, if you ask me the same question in 2 weeks' time, I'll have different answers because you play games, and you like Jurassic Park. At one point, I wanted to burn the game. I thought it was awful, so hard.
It is brutally hard.
Now I can't imagine my game.
But I think I got that game when I was really kind of mediocre. I'm still mediocre at pinball, but I'm better than I was. I can live
special and Lit's pinball skills teaching thing on.
Yeah, maybe I should. Yeah, but I think for me, I generally would love to have a shot at having a Jurassic Park. I love the IP. It's the only I don't like any of the sequels. They're all terrible movies. But the original first movie was just so good.
I've heard the new movies. Actually, the other movie, I'm sad to tell you, Superman.
Not good, no.
It's fucking
James
awful,
Gunn's messed it up, has he?
It is awful.
Oh dear. I got to admit, I am a bit of a Snyder fan, so I probably won't like it.
I love Man of Steel, but
I did as well.
The best. I mean, you can't beat Christopher Reeve, though. I'm sorry. I mean, I know, and there's a cheese level in it from the kind of 70s, 80s that was also great. But I thought Man of Steel was great. The guy in the middle between the two, he wasn't bad, but he wasn't great. But I think letting Henry Cavill go was a foolish thing to do.
It's getting old, though, isn't it? That's the problem. I think,
right.
He's trying to do the next 10-year thing, isn't he? Like AIR. They did with MCU. AIR, yeah. Look, I better go. We better wrap up.
Indeed. Thank you, Scott. We'll be back for our... Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's the one you wait for. It's the one that causes trouble, upsets people, and makes me laugh. It is the Pinfest spectacular episode.
We'll do a video. Well, it's true, actually. We will do a podcast just prior to the show.
Yes. So we'll do one just before the show so you can listen to it and get enraged by my comments such that you want to come and give me a punch in the face, right? I'm going
It's
to
not
full
caveat
McRae.
the fact that you shouldn't.
I'm going to go full hardcore McRae for the next one.
Great.
I'm not really, because I'm looking forward to seeing friends.
I think it's going to be genuinely good. I'm looking forward to it.
It's always great to see the people there. And I'm not taking any games. I'm not doing anything. I'm literally a punter at large.
Sure.
Watch out if you've got a camera. If it hits me, I might do something evil to it. And I'll be wearing a shirt. You'll be able to identify me. I'll be wearing a shirt. My name is Colin. And with that, bombshell, Scott and I wish you well. Have a great summer, and we'll see you at Pinfest.
See you at Pinfest.